So the week has been incredibly amazing. And so what I thought I would do in my closing was just takeaways, just three takeaways on the technology side, given that this is an ICT, women empowering women, tech kind of oriented topic. So there was a lot of technology that we talked about. We talked broad and big picture. Then we spoke really specific and tactical in the last day or whatever. And I think there are some takeaways that I'd like to have you guys keep top of mind when you think about this conference or this workshop. The last thing is 3 entrepreneurial takeaways, because this is not only women that are interested in ICT, but also entrepreneurs. And so I'll have 3 entrepreneur takeaways as well. So diving right in, for 3 technology takeaways, I think the first thing that I would say is start. I mentioned it, and I think the very first day is that the most successful digital transformations always start small, but they can grow very quick. Yes. And even if you're using Excel, no matter what technology you're using, start somewhere, and then all of a sudden your ideas start to go, and you can really start to innovate for your business and transform the way you do things. So I would say your technology takeaway is just to start using a few things, and then add more to that and keep growing. The next takeaway is to know your business process. A lot of people get hung up on technology for technology's sake. The reality is you've got to put technology in perspective. Technology is simply enabling your business. It isn't the business. It is enabling what you already do. It's making what you already do better, more efficient, more powerful, more innovative. It isn't everything, right? But technology is incredibly important because it can empower you. But if you don't know your business process, if you don't know how you do something, we talked about this in the last days, it kind of rang true in the example when I forgot her name now, but the lady came in and she gave an amazing presentation about file management. It's so true. You have to know your business process, because technology is just going to enable that. So always keep that in perspective, and don't just adopt technology for the sake of technology. And then the last one is optimize. So always leveraging what you have, trying to, grow it as best as you can, get the most out of it, see if it changes, if it's evolving, because these technologies, I talked about them in the last day, I think, is that they change very rapidly. And so maybe one technology that didn't work for you at the beginning, like for example, in my case, Google Meets, wasn't right for my virtual meetings when I first started looking at that, but now it's probably an option for me. And also new features come out with an existing technology. So if you're investing and you're spending money on technology, or even if you have a free one, optimize how you're using it. Try to capitalize it to the best of your ability until you completely outgrow it. Which, by the way, I think picking technology that can grow with you is a really, really big takeaway. I just did this ask, I don't know, it sounds weird, but somebody did this like ask the expert thing with me, and we were talking about the state of commerce, right? And sort of what's happened in the world today with commerce. And what I found in this report that was published, and I can show it to you guys when I publish it, but in this report from Salesforce that was about the state of commerce, I made several comments about it. But what a key takeaway was that the most high-performing companies during the pandemic, they invested in digital transformational solutions, but when they were picking their solutions that they would work with, they picked the most innovative. They went, it wasn't just a criteria of price and speed. It was a criteria of which ones are the most innovative. And those companies that invested in those ones were those were the companies that just blew it out of the water when it came to during the pandemic, and they were able to respond, they were able to be there. And so keeping in mind that picking the right technology that's going to grow with you and the most innovative is going to put you on the right path to continuing to stay current in your business. So for me, these were kind of the 3 takeaways. I'm sure we could add a lot more. But kind of in my mind, these were 3 takeaways from this last few days of conversation. 3 entrepreneurial takeaways that I would like to share with you guys. We talked about what it meant to be a leader and what it meant to be an entrepreneur, but I wanted to share the first one. So the first one is, don't let the critics hold you back. I mean, I thought that it was so empowering in the last, I think it was yesterday, when everyone told their story and everyone faced so many challenges. You had so many people that, I've had it too, right? People that say stuff, oh, that's not going to work, or, oh, you messed up, or whatever. And, I love that every single one of you as an entrepreneur did not let the critics stop you from moving ahead. And that is what separates you guys as leaders, as entrepreneurs. I put the little tagline, I'm sure you guys heard the cliche, haters gonna hate, right? Like, okay, are you gonna have the haters? And it's funny because I think there was, I can't remember which NBA player in US basketball was saying, if you don't have haters, there might be something wrong, right? And the fact is, if you're out there and if you're doing things, people are gonna criticize and people are gonna say it's not gonna work. And so the fact that you even have that is a sign, but don't let it hold you back. I put a quote here. I don't know if you guys have ever heard this, this particular quote from, yes, it was Michael Jordan. Okay, thank you. The Man in the Arena. Have you heard of Theodore Roosevelt? He had a really amazing speech. I'll read it to you sort of quickly here because it's absolutely one of my favorites, especially when I'm feeling like man, is anything I'm doing working? Am I making a difference? I feel like I'm kind of running in place like some days, and I'm sure you feel that too. But in this particular speech, Theodore Roosevelt said, "It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles," and in this case, woman, by the way, "or whether the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man or woman who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes up short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who actually does strive to do the deeds, who knows the great enthusiasms, the great devotions, and who spends himself or herself in a worthy cause, and who at the end knows and who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if she fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that her place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who never know victory or defeat." So I would plaster this around if you need a moment to think about how, hey, you know what? I'm the one in the arena, and there are days when I feel a little dust on my face, but at least, I know what it's like, and you're always going to have a moment of error or shortcoming if you're doing anything. So, keep that going, guys. Next one, speaking of Michael Jordan, Doreen, is be a problem solver. We talked about problem solving yesterday, and how as an entrepreneur, that's what your day is every day. And, we heard even now, every single one of our V2 moms has a whole number of obstacles. We have tons of obstacles, yes. But to think about how you can do it, or you can find a way, or maybe a path from a partner, from a network, from a relationship, from a technology, from a giver, right? There's a way. And so when you continue to do that, it's a really powerful thing for leaders and entrepreneurs to be problem solvers. And I do love this quote from Michael Jordan in this sense, that some people want it to happen, some people wish it could happen, but then there's others like you guys who make it happen. So keep that handy in your back in a moment. All right. And then the third one, I've got myself here. This is actually not just me. So, but I have this that entrepreneurs are always learning. You know, I've always felt like there's importance in having a beginner's mindset, right? I approach things sometimes where I'm like, I don't know what to do. Let me hear all the angles and then I'll make a decision, right? And you always are learning. And I heard a lot of people say, well, I need to learn ICT and I need to learn, of course, I need to learn a lot of things myself, and I will always be learning. And as an entrepreneur, I have to say it's probably the best school on the planet. You will learn so much, and you guys already have learned a ton. But the subtext here is be a mentor, but also be mentored, right? You guys are all amazing mentors to each other. Allow yourself to be mentored as well and mentor others. So I'm going to play this video. It's a little bit, it's not that long, so don't worry, but it has me with a few other people. So, and it's about learning.
Chase opportunity, chase learning, because the money will follow. We love certifications on our team, but I can tell you certifications don't mean that you necessarily know how to do something. So doing and learning and experience is number one over any kind of training. Knowing how to do something, applying yourself, and demonstrating that you really have that skill is the number one thing.
Be open to learning in a different way, right? And a lot of that learning can be just from connecting with individuals. You know, like for the person that's standing there with the film, the camera right now, like I don't know cameras the way he knows cameras, but if I'm curious about cameras, I want to talk to him about cameras, right? And having that kind of openness. So as it relates to the technology industry, it's like, if you're curious, don't be afraid to ask.
Get hands-on, do it, right? And I mean, like, if you look at Combat Code or sites like that, there's so many websites out there now that you can learn for virtually free online. And even if you don't have a computer or anything at home, you can go to a library and use their computer for free. Like, so really my whole advice is go online, learn and do.
Don't be afraid to take something that maybe seems a little bit non-traditional. You don't have to always go the traditional route. And I think that's great about, just the technology sector today. It doesn't have to be that traditional journey, but you have to be willing to step up and take those opportunities when they present themselves.
It's not all about the tech. So remember, much like today's conversation, yes, there's a great tool, Tailspins has great solutions, there's some great capabilities in those areas, but the people are the point. So I think one, it is definitely find the pieces of the technology that create passion for you and pursue those. But remember, the people are ultimately the point too. So someone either has to be a user of your product or you have to interact with someone to develop the product. Getting those interpersonal skills can't be lost just because technology is something of a passion for you.
There you go, guys. Always be learning. And the next one,
Chase opportunity.
Can't figure out. Oh, we never sure how to change the thing. Hold on, sorry. And then, so this is my last slide that really just summarizes all three of the takeaways. I know we're coming up on time, so don't let the critics hold you back. They're always going to be there. And then, if anything, they're telling you that you're doing something right. If you have critics, be a problem solver. Get after it. Make it happen, and always be learning. Always come, for me, like I said, always coming from a beginner's mindset. And what's really interesting when I was jotting these down, and I always have takeaways when I reflect on a moment, and I reflected on the last several days. But when I looked at what I kind of gathered here, there's kind of this yin and yang. There's this strength and confidence that's coming out in a lot of these phrases. Don't let the critics hold you back. Be a problem solver. There's so much strength and confidence, but at the same time, it's coupled with humility. And I remember it was somebody's V2 mom. They said confidence and humility. And I was thinking, oh my God, that was the exact thing that I was going to tell you guys here, is always be learning, brings that humility back to everything that you do. And there's that yin and the yang, I think, is what really keeps entrepreneurs strong and capable. So anyways, I will leave you with that. And maybe Agatha, if you want to do anything further, I'm fine on time. I'm also trying to be sensitive of everybody else's time. But thank you so much, everyone, for allowing me the opportunity to meet with you. I had so much fun this week. I've left my contact details, the ones that I shared with you on the first day, but certainly feel free to connect. I'd like to thank the U.S. Embassy and Agatha and all of you. I mean, you've been an amazing group of people and certainly inspired me too. So thank you very much.